Tyler Reddick makes history at the Circuit of the Americas by becoming the first driver in NASCAR Cup Series history to win the first three races of the NASCAR Cup Series season. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Talkin NASCAR. I'm your host, Andrew, and thank you all for tuning into this episode. Hope you had a really good weekend, and hope you enjoyed the today's race at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas, for the NASCAR Cup Series. I believe it was the hold on, I'm looking at the actual race, like what it was called. I believe it was the DuraMax Grand Prix, powered by Relodyne. So yeah, that's not a complicated name at all, but regardless. Hope you enjoyed today's race. So I hope you had a great time watching that. I know I did as well. So we got a lot to talk about here today. Going to recap that race, but I want to first start by talking about Tyler Reddick, today's winner, driving for 2311 Racing in a contract year for 2311 Racing, the number 45 car, owned by Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin. And just what a turnaround it has been for Tyler Reddick this season. I mean, just to state the obvious, he's won the first three races of this season, becoming the first driver in NASCAR Cup Series history to do that. He became the first driver since Matt Kenseth, I believe in 2009, to win back-to-back races to begin a NASCAR Cup Series season. And then before Kenseth, it was Jeff Gordon in 1996, I'm pretty sure. So that was already a little bit of history made for Reddick. And obviously now he goes out and becomes the first driver ever to win three straight races to open up a season. He knocks off the New Zealand road course ace of Shane Van Gisbergen, who is chasing a record to tie Jeff Gordon's most consecutive road course races won consecutively with 6. So that was a humongous effort out of Tyler Reddick. And not to mention that, he went all of last season without winning a single race last year, while his teammate Bubba Wallace went out and won the Brickyard 400 at Indianapolis. And not to mention, off the track too, his son had a medical health issue, so that was something that was taking his attention away. There was a lawsuit that involved his team, 2311 Racing, so there was maybe a bit of job security looming over his head and looming in the back of his mind, like, oh man, am I gonna still have a job come the 2026 season? So a lot was playing into Tyler Reddick's mind. We talked about how Denny Hamlin has had to manage a lot this season, and even going back to last season with welcoming a new baby and etc. But Tyler Reddick's had to go through a lot too. Let's not forget Tyler Reddick. That's something that's kind of escaped our minds over the last year. But for Tyler Reddick to go through all of that last year and now come out in 2026 and win the first three races, making NASCAR history, winning the Daytona 500, it's something incredible that we are seeing and something that feels like pretty surreal and almost like fitting for Tyler Reddick to win these first three races. So that's incredible for Tyler Reddick. He went through a lot of adversity in Atlanta last week with getting a bunch of damage on that right front fender, crossing the finish line first without a right front fender, and then this weekend at COTA, I mean, he started on the pole, which is incredible, continuing that momentum, and then having to drop back all the way to about 8th place within by the end of stage 1, excuse me. So Reddick was doing a lot. There was a lot thrown against him today. And again, I'll say it again. He had the road course dominator of Shane Van Gisbergen bearing down on his neck in those final like 20 laps. Not to mention, there's other great road course racers like AJ Allmendinger, Michael McDowell, Chase Elliott, Christopher Bell was making a hard charge towards the end. Chase Briscoe, before he had a transaxle failure, was also up there in contention. Ryan Blaney, a guy that we have not thought of more recently in recent seasons as a road course racer, they were up all at the front. And for a while, Tyler Reddick was not the one to control this race, but eventually got the control back, and was able to ride off into the sunset and take home the victory at Circuit of the Americas. So I just want to make sure you guys, like, before I get into say anything else, you understand the scope of all of the things that Tyler Reddick has gone through to come to be where he is today, winning this race, making NASCAR Cup Series history, everything looming in the background from last season and in the offseason, everything that he's gone through is truly incredible what we're seeing out of Tyler Reddick. Again, a little bit of luck has to play into that because, I mean, you can't win two super speedways in a row without a little bit of luck. But, I mean, can't deny the perseverance that Tyler Reddick has, especially shown in the Atlanta race last week and then this weekend as well at Circuit of the Americas. So, congratulations to Tyler Reddick, Michael Jordan of 2311 Racing, Denny Hamlin as well, who also had a pretty strong day. And Tyler Reddick now has a firm grip on the lead in the NASCAR Cup Series so far. We'll take a look at the standings probably coming up in a later episode later this week, most likely. But let's get to today's race, actually. And for the most part, this race was actually a very clean and orderly race. There weren't very many cautions. There was only, I think, one caution for cause. I think that was for Ross Chastain losing a wheel late in stage 3 that actually set up that final 20-lap sprint to the end of this race. And then, of course, you had the stage breaks as well. But barring that, this was a very calm and orderly race, kind of like the Craftsman Truck Series race at St. Petersburg, which I'm going to be doing a recap of that race and the O'Reilly Series race at Circuit of the Americas probably tomorrow. I'll be releasing that episode. So with that being said, I get to start off this episode by just listing the stage points that were handed out today. Those were the other cautions too. There's 3 cautions total in this race, and there were 2 of them were for stage breaks, and that other one was for Ross Chastain and that loose wheel coming off his car. So uh, yeah, let's go over the stage real quick. Stage 1, Ross Chastain, who started on the outside pole in the front row alongside Tyler Reddick. He picked up the Stage 1 victory, followed by his teammate, Shane Van Gisbergen, who qualified 13th, very uncharacteristic of Shane Van Gisbergen. He climbed all the way up into second. Michael McDowell in third. Chris Buescher, another road course veteran, very good road course racer for RFK, in fourth. AJ Allmendinger in fifth. Ty Gibbs in sixth. Alex Bowman actually climbed up in the seventh, getting some good stage points. Chase Elliott in eighth, and Carson Hocevar in ninth, with Denny Hamlin rounding out the top 10. Not a very good road course racer, Denny Hamlin, but still got some stage points. You'll notice like guys like Tyler Reddick and several other drivers who started up front as well, like Ryan Blaney, Christopher Bell, William Byron, Zane Smith, Kyle Larson, guys like that who started up towards the front, Chase Briscoe as well. They all chose to pit at the end of stage 1 before pit road closed to flip the stage so they would be able to get more track position and ultimately hold on to that track position at the end of stage 1 so they wouldn't have to pit under caution. And meanwhile, these other guys that I just mentioned in stage 1 who got these points, they were just able to get those stage points and scoop them right up, and they would probably have to lose that track position when they pit under yellow. But with the chase format now, this is a thing that I'm liking, that you actually have drivers looking to score stage points and not just looking to go win the race. I mean, of course, you're going to be looking at drivers who want to win the race overall and, like, get a hoisted trophy, but it's not the end all be all now in the NASCAR Cup Series, which is something that I'm sure that many fans and NASCAR are happy about. There's actually some true points racing in NASCAR now. Points actually matter for once. So that was stage 1. Stage 2, Ty Gibbs would actually pick up his first stage win of the season, followed by AJ Allmendinger. Daniel Suarez, who actually used a little bit of pit strategy at the end of stage 1 to get some track position, ended up in third. Same with Todd Gilliland for Front Row Motorsports, who has had a rough couple of weeks at super speedways. Ends up in fourth. Tyler Reddick and Bubba Wallace in fifth and sixth. Ryan Blaney would pick up a seventh place finish. Cole Custer got up to eighth place, and then William Byron and Shane Van Gisbergen would round out the top 10. And now we get to stage 3, and like the first 2 stages, there wasn't a whole lot going on. Sure, you had a little bit of pit strategy, but overall, though, it was a very calm and orderly stage 3 until we got to about 20 laps to go when we had a restart after that Ross Chastain accident, and you had the Tyler Reddick and Shane Van Gisbergen lining up on the front row, and I believe you also had Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Michael McDowell, Ryan Blaney lining up in the top 4 as well. And then I believe Chase Elliott and Christopher Bell had new tires as well. Same with Ty Gibbs. And as we went on through that 20-lap little stretch there towards the end, Reddick and Shane Van Gisbergen were the ones that broke away from the pack, and it really became a two-horse race. And during that time, like, Reddick was getting having Shane Van Gisbergen like bear down on him. I mean, he was right there at his back bumper for most of that 20-lap stretch. Towards the end of it, though, Shane Van Gisbergen pretty much had used up all of his car. They were on older tires, and Shane Van Gisbergen was battling a little bit of a tight car, so that made it difficult for him to truly set up a pass for Tyler Reddick. Even though SVG was better in the S's section, Reddick had more power on the straightaways and could get a better run off the corners, which is something that Shane Van Gisbergen did not have. So ultimately, even though Reddick had Shane Van Gisbergen bearing down on him, it was not enough. SVG did everything he could, but by the final 5 laps, SVG had lost about a second on Reddick. It was about a 2-second lead that Reddick had over SVG. Eventually got over to 3 seconds, almost 4 seconds actually, by the time Reddick crossed the start-finish line. Christopher Bell and Ty Gibbs, 2 drivers on new tires, actually got past some guys up to third and fourth, making a JGR third and fourth. Ryan Blaney, who was another guy that had older tires, fade back all the way to 8th place. Meanwhile, Michael McDowell, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott were able to hold on to some track position. Denny Hamlin got up to 10th place. William Byron actually fell off a little bit too. He was another guy on older tires, but regardless, that was pretty much the story for those final 20 laps, because Tyler Reddick was able to just stay calm, cool, and collected. Even though he had SVG bearing down on him, he was able to stay calm, cool, and collected, not make any mistakes, did a perfect run for 20 laps, and was able to pick up the victory and get his 3rd straight win to open up the NASCAR Cup Series season. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the top finishers from today's race. Obviously, SVG picking up a 2nd-place victory. Came so close to getting his 6th consecutive road course victory. Would tie Jeff Gordon actually for the most all-time consecutively in my is the record. So he would have tied Jeff Gordon there. Christopher Bell, after a rough couple of weeks, picked up a 3rd. Same with Ty Gibbs. Both started very well. Gibbs won a stage, like I already mentioned. Christopher Bell, I think, could have been a contender in this race once again, but I think didn't have the track position to do it. But those new tires definitely got him close. It was just he ran out of time a little bit towards the end. Michael McDowell, 5th place, another road course ace. Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott, 2 Hendrick drivers in 6th and 7th place position. I did not mean to do that on purpose. I'm sorry, guys. Ryan Blaney, AJ Allmendinger in 8th and 9th. Blaney, once again, kind of fade towards the end of that run. His tires started to give out on him, but Blaney was the best Ford all night. The next closest Ford was Joey Logano in 15th. Ford was just off today. He really was. It really was. But Chris Buescher as well was another really good, strong running Ford today. He probably didn't have race winning speed, but uh, Chris Buescher definitely is a very good road course racer. He's probably like a 15th to probably 8th place car overall in this race. Didn't really have it. Brad Keselowski, despite having a recovering from a broken leg, that injury, still it was able to finish in 20th, was grinding out that finish. Joey Hand was on standby, but Joey Hand did not have to hop in that car in relief for Brad Keselowski. Zane Smith started up inside the top 15, but faded all the way back to 33rd. I think he got also involved in a crash to open up stage 3. That was the one thing that was a little bit of chaos throughout this race. That was the one point of chaos up in turn 1 to start stage 3. Zilich and Smith, Connor Zilich, for the 2nd time that today. Connor Zilich got spun around. Zane Smith kind of got caught up in that wreck. There was a bit of a stack up, a little bit of an accordion effect. I think one car, I think it might have been, I think it was Ty Dillon, I think, got into the back of one car, and it just kind of accordioned up the line and eventually took out Zane Smith and Connor Zilich. Zane Smith got some heavy right front damage, was able to continue, but ruined a pretty good day going for Zane Smith. Was the only driver coming into this race that had back-to-back top tens besides Reddick in this race, and some other drivers. I think there was another driver that I think had back-to-back top tens, but Zane Smith was one of the few drivers entering today's race that had 2 top 10 finishes over the course of 2 races. Was having a good start to the season, but this was definitely not what he needed. Denny Hamlin in 10th, a guy not known for his road course racing, but got his first top 10 on COTA in his career, in their 4th time being there now, I'm pretty sure. So Hamlin getting some good points after a rough couple of weeks. Bubba Wallace, another very solid, consistent finish. Wasn't up front a whole lot. He was there in stage 2, got some good stage points, got a good finishing result. Road courses aren't his specialty, but it was still a really good result for Bubba. Kyle Busch, another guy that had a hard charge late at the end of this field, was very aggressive towards the end of that 20-lap run, got up to 12th. I'm pretty sure he restarted like in 25th and got all the way up to 12th. It was an impressive run for Busch. Did not have a good qualifying effort, though. I think if Busch did have a better qualifying effort, he probably would have been a competing car, because he he had a lot of speed in it. He definitely had a lot of speed. William Byron in 13th. Connor Zilic, just despite getting wrecked on that restart in stage at the beginning of the stage, still managed to recover to 14th. I think he might have gotten wrecked another time too. There's definitely at least twice Connor Zilic got spun around at the top of the hill. He might have gotten spun out somewhere else along the way too, but regardless, Connor Zilic still a good 14th place result for him. Joey Logano, next closest forward, end up in 15th. Some other notable finishers, not John Nemechek in 17th. He was a consistent mover up to the field. He was able to gain a good amount of spots on restarts, especially. I already mentioned Brad Keselowski. Looking at everything else, Chris Buescher and Daniel Suarez got some good stage points today. Suarez, I think, just didn't have the track position. Also, didn't have the car. He was up front at stage two, but I don't really think Suarez had the car to truly compete for the win. I know the guys in the booth were saying that Suarez could have been like a dark horse guy. Suarez also made some bad pit strategy call. I think I'm gonna put that on Ryan Sparks, his crew chief. Was not a good pit strategy call by his crew chief to stay out and get points. Threw away a chance at the win because I mean, to be fair, Suarez was competing. He was out front with those guys and was able to hold his own for the most part. He just made a bad pit strategy call, so ends up in 25th. Jesse Love, his first race of the NASCAR Cup Series season in his limited schedule, ends up in 27th. Got into it with his teammate of Kyle Busch, actually. But he kind of blocked Kyle Busch heading into turn 20, the final turn to head onto the front straightaway. Kyle Busch tried to go low. Jesse Love kind of blocked him. Kyle Busch was not happy about that. Kind of punted Jesse Love off into turn 20. That actually was the crash that spun out Chris Buescher and sent him towards the back of the pack there. Looking at the rest of the order, Carson Hocevar in 31st. Carson Hocevar just didn't have it today. He just really didn't. I know he got some stage points in stage one, but he just didn't have it. He spun out late towards the end of this race. On the final lap, actually, he spun off of turn 20, hit the inside wall on the front stretch really, really hard. Was able to finish the race, but after two kind of exciting weeks for Hocevar, he just didn't have it today. He just really didn't. So 34 first for Carson Hocevar. Tough luck for him. Ross Chastain, who started on the front row, had that loose wheel, ended up going 2 laps down. Tough day for Ross Chastain. He had a good car. He had a good car today. It was a really good job by Ross Chastain. Alex Bowman in 36th. Actually, Alex Bowman actually had to get removed from his car towards the end of this race, actually. Before that final caution, Myatt Snyder, actually, who was on pit road helping out Fox and Jamie Little on pit road, actually got asked to get his fire suit on and hop into the car for Alex Bowman, who was feeling a little bit of sickness during that race. It was a very hot day, 81 degrees, the hottest race that the drivers have faced so far this year, hotter than Daytona, which you don't hear that very often in Texas, but I mean, is what it is. He actually had to climb in for Bowman. He got out on track, had to salvage some points for Hendrick Motorsports, but yeah, Alex Bowman's rough season continues. It has not been a good start to the year for Alex Bowman. And then Chase Briscoe had a transaxle issue, end up in last after starting in third. He got some good stage points. He looked like he had a good car today. Maybe not necessarily the winning car. Maybe he had to make some more adjustments on it, but Chase Briscoe still had a lot of good speed. He's quietly becoming a very underrated yet very, very solid road course racer as well. One other note, AJ Allmendinger had to receive medical attention on pit road after he climbed out of his car. The Fox cameras cut to him for just like a brief moment. He was lying on the ground with medical professionals kind of surrounding him. I mean, I've seen that before out of Allmendinger. I've seen it before. I think it was Indy Road Course it might have been, or Watkins Glen. He overheated in his car. But yeah, there's drivers wearing cool suits. Some of the cool suits were not working. I think Kyle Larson's cool suit actually failed. The suit that has some tubes that run on a shirt that the drivers wear under their fire suits that pumps cool water in to help keep the drivers cool. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. In this case, it didn't work for Larson, but Allmendinger as well. He had to receive medical attention. So hope AJ's okay. I haven't gotten any word on it yet. I probably could check to see if there's been any updates so far. Okay, I did find an update. AJ Allmendinger did post to X saying that he was all good. It was just a caption that said "all good" with a picture of him with Matt Calling and Chris Rice, the owner and president of Calling Racing. Apparently, Allmendinger had to be helped onto a stretcher and taken to the infield care center to be evaluated. I did not hear that, but he was released and is okay. So good to hear that Allmendinger is okay. Sounds like Alex Bowman is okay as well. He had to be taken to the infield care center. I believe both of them had cool suit issues, possibly in this race. Allmendinger was able to finish the race, but Bowman only completed 70 of the 95 laps today. So good to hear that both Alex Bowman and AJ Allmendinger are okay and are hopefully on the road to recovery after today. So we'll see how they are able to do next weekend heading to Phoenix. All right, so with that being said, it is now time to give this race a rating, the Triple R scale race review rating. That's what I like to call it on this show, I guess. So, anyways, I thought this race was good. The DuraMax Grand Prix at Circuit of the Americas, I thought it was a good race. It was probably one of the better road course races. This was the first road course race that NASCAR has its new horsepower package for road courses and short tracks. Uh, I thought it looked good. I thought it looked good. It looked better on TV. There was some good battling. SVG and Shane McGisbergen were there. They were making it difficult. SVG was making it difficult on Reddick, but ultimately at the end, Reddick was able to hold off SVG. SVG had a little bit of a ill handling car, which I think could be a product of that extra horsepower coming into those cars, giving it more speed, but also making it more difficult for the cars to handle a little bit, which was, I think, something that we saw throughout this race. Chase Briscoe was also dealing with some handling. A lot of drivers were dealing with handling issues, so I think that was something that showed the horsepower, I think, probably was working. So I think that was good to see. Good battles across the race. Wasn't too many cautions in this race. It was a very clean race. Good racing overall. Good, hard, tight racing. Not overly aggressive, which was really, really good. Probably that Jesse Love incident was really the only instance of overly aggressive racing. But I mean, it's Jesse Love, a part-time Cup Series driver who is a full-timer in the O'Reilly Series. So yeah, I guess we can say that's just an O'Reilly Auto Parts Series driver in the Cup Series at a road course. So that's really that. And then again, not really too much aggressive driving. Daniel Suarez kind of was a little aggressive into turn one, sent Connor Zilic spinning, but that's one out of how many times it wasn't many. It was like really the only one of two overall. So wasn't too much over aggressive driving overall in this race. So that was a good thing. So overall, good race. Had Tyler Reddick making NASCAR Cup Series history. Really cool story for him. I think this race was a good one. I'm gonna give it an 85%. One of the better road course races I've seen in a while in the NASCAR Cup Series with the next gen car. We'll see how the next road course race is. I believe that will be Sonoma later on this season. So we'll see how that road course is. Won't be for a little while, but we'll see how Sonoma goes in a little while down the road. So 85% on the Triple R scale for the DuraMax Grand Prix at Circuit of the Americas. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of this race down in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for tuning into this episode. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Hope you enjoyed today's race. Let me let me know down in the comments what you thought of today's race. Stay tuned for more episodes on this show. If you like what I'm doing over here, also go check out Talkin Sports with Miles and Andrew. I'll have links to that show, the YouTube channel, and Spotify page. That will be all down in the description below. As for this show, I also have a ton more episodes that you can listen to as well. I got a recap for the Truck Series race at St. Petersburg and the O'Reilly Series race at COTA coming out very, very soon, so stay tuned for all of that and more. But until then, I'll see you in the next thing that I do. Have a great week, everyone. Bye.